This evening, let's explore inner child work and the ability to love. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. This is the Lama you are looking for. This evening, we could chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two. But first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as transformatively as Obi-Wan Kenobi upon the toasty sands of Tatooine, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. If at any point during this evening's live stream you have a question about Buddhist meditation or philosophy or even chanting, there's no need to be bashful. Simply type your question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. So let's take a look at Reddit. Upstairs, U78 or 782 wrote, "Does the inner child really heal?" This individual starts off with a story but ends with a question. This individual wrote, "I broke up with a girl I really felt like I loved at the time, but something just didn't feel right. I felt like I didn't really feel love for her at the time. At the same time, I felt like I was losing something. I can't really put it into words, but that told me there's a problem that needs to be fixed. Poor girl. I stumbled upon healing meditation, and the first time I meditated, I felt a very negative feeling. I could say I was hurting, and then searched more and discovered the inner child. Long story short, I went through an inner child guided meditation on YouTube, and I cried a lot and realized my parents never told me they loved me, especially my dad. He left us to marry another woman. One memory that keeps coming when I worked for him, and he was shouting a lot at me, like I'm not doing anything good. I was always walking on eggshells at his workplace. I felt like I was never good enough for him, and he never believed in me. When I'm crying during meditation, the words "I love you" keep coming to my heard. I feel like there are some things I've forgotten or can't remember. Did anyone ever experience something similar? Does it get better? To add, this reflects so much into my relationships. I've always wanted reassurance, affection, being overly tolerant. It's a lot and all starting to make sense now. I'm worried will ever heal fully. Okay, so let's explore this. So, it's unfortunate this individual broke up with a girl because he felt something was wrong inside him. I wish he would have seen a psychiatrist, one who specializes in trauma. If that describes you, if you feel that events in your childhood are preventing you from loving the way you feel you should be loving, then please confer with a psychiatrist who specializes in trauma. If you don't have one, then scroll down in the description area below the video, and under the vegan section, you'll find, well, I'll just show you, that'll probably be easier. So quick like a bunny, I'm going to push this button here, and I'm going to click refresh, and I'm going to click this button right here. Well, that's disorienting, so let's do that. And scroll down. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, jumbo, eh, kids? Okay. So, below the video, there are all kinds of links. Under the heading of vegan education, towards the very bottom, you'll find a link that reads, "Find a plant-based physician." And then there's a link. Oops, I didn't push the right button. Sorry about that. Let's try that again. Let's push 5. There we go. In the description area below the video, you'll find a bunch of links under the heading of vegan education. Second from the bottom, you'll find a link that reads, "Find a plant-based physician." And here's the link right there. PCRM is a free service. They will help you find an MD who practices psychiatry in a manner that is informed by the latest peer-reviewed studies correlating psychiatric symptoms with physiological disorders. It has been found by many peer-reviewed studies have found that the majority of causes for the symptoms we label as psychological are quite often physiological. Things like systemic inflammation, gut dysbiosis, and the like can exacerbate what's going on. Now, does that cause trauma? No, but can it exacerbate trauma? Yeah, sure, you betcha. One can squander decades, if not an entire adult life, trying to self-help their way through trauma resolution. Please do not do that. Now, let's explore some common misconceptions. There is a misconception that unless we truly love ourselves, we cannot love another. There's another misconception that until our inner child is healed, we cannot truly love another. But what does the science say? Come behold the 3-pound squishy supercomputer that lives between our ears. I want to make sure that the, okay, good. So, this part here is where trauma kicks our ass. This is the amygdala, the seat of fear. Over here, this pit right here, this is the anterior cingulate gyrus, the hub, if you will, of our mirror neurons, that which functions as our seat of empathy. So regardless of our past, unless there's some sort of a physiological impairment, i.e. we were born with some sort of a neurological birth defect, or there's some sort of a traumatic brain injury like that guy in the 1800s had a steel bar pierce his skull, all of us have the mechanism for empathy, which is the seat of love and compassion and all that good stuff. Now, using the Buddha's meditations, we cannot eradicate fear, for fear serves a survival function. But there's a difference between the presence of fear and the tyranny of fear. So using the Buddha's meditations, we're able to, yes, be aware of our fear, but not be so dominated by our fear that we're unable to function in our empathy center. fMRI studies have demonstrated that well, Robin Williams had a joke. He used to say, Mother Nature gave a man 2 heads, but only enough blood to use one at a time. Similarly, our blood mass, neural activity are kind of on a toggle switch, either down here in fear or up here in love. People have had functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRIs, and been given a political questionnaire. And statistically, the majority of the people who answered questions in a conservative manner had the bottom of the brain lit up. And the people who answered in a more progressive manner had the anterior cingulate gyrus empathy center of the brain light up. Now, there is something we can... What is a habit? A habit is taking a neural pathway and turning it from a little teeny goat path into an 8-lane highway. So repetition really is the mother of skill. And the more we train ourselves to be fearful, the better we'll be at being fearful, and the more difficulty we'll have being empathetic. However, if we can use the Buddha's contemplations and meditations to be aware of our fear, but deliberately explore empathy, then we can get better and better and better at accessing empathy, which is the seat of love and compassion and all that good stuff. So, just because your parents were horrible or one parent was horrible doesn't mean you can never love. If the only way we could love was to be reconciled with the people who did us wrong, that would be terrible, because sometimes they don't care to be reconciled. Sometimes they're no longer alive. And yes, we can get knee deep or elbow deep in Gestalt therapy, but really, I would not recommend that. Work with a psychiatrist who has a strong grounding in neuroscience, not just a prescription writer, but someone who will work with you. Because you're not just a brain in a flask. You are a complex human being with a personal story and also lifestyle choices. Lifestyle choices that influence the way your central nervous system functions. Lifestyle choices which can create gut dysbiosis or systemic inflammation. Lifestyle choices such as when you sleep, how long you sleep, do you get fresh air and exercise and sunshine during the day? These are important things. Are you eating a whole food, plant-based diet? These are things that have been shown to reverse physical problems that create with mental symptoms in a short period of time. A ridiculously short period of time. So let's tie this up in a big red bow. If you even suspect your life's experience has been shaped by trauma, see a specialist who is a psychiatrist. If you can't have one, use the resource I pointed out to gain one. In the interim, please practice with us for free on the live stream, and I'm confident it could help. Okay. Let's pause for 1 minute of housekeeping. Every day I live stream 4 meditation classes without any advertisements, health permitting. With your assistance, this channel could help to support the next generation of nuns, monks, yogis, lamas, and even brick-and-mortar meditation centers, each replete with a resident teacher and their apprentice. If you think that sounds pretty good and you'd like to help out, even for as little as the cost of 1 cup of coffee a month, well, you're welcome to take your smartphone's camera and capture this QR code, or simply scroll down into the description area below the video and click one of the donation links. However, I must remind you, donation is optional, and you can attend all the classes you want and download all the materials you want absolutely for free. Absolutely free. Let's turn our attention to the latest iteration of Easy Meditations Proto-Zen. Let us begin with Bliss and Letting Go, which is known by many names, including Dzogchen's Tikle. The easiest way to to experience the sensation of our real or imagined energies coalescing within our central channel is to hold your hands in a palm, press your palms together before your chest, and then chant. We're going to play with two chants. The first one is an invocation of the real or imagined archetype of enlightened compassion. Namo Quan Shi Yin Pu Sa, 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 Namo Quan Shi Yin Pu Sa. The second method is to percussively recite the Heart of Wisdom Sutra while performing a golf clap at the level of your chest. Heart of Wisdom Sutra. The noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, while practicing the deep practice of Prajnaparamita. Prajnaparamita is a Sanskrit word that could be translated as the perfection of wisdom. Looked upon the five skandhas and seeing they were empty of self-existence. Skandha just means aggregate, and it's just one of many ways of labeling our internal experience. The real question is, what does the word empty mean? Many people pursue the word emptiness as if it was a literal phenomena, and they either wind up in pseudo-intellectual skullduggery or superstitious blind faith, neither of which are beneficial. Let us explore the word emptiness not literally but figuratively. And what we'll find is that as we exhale, as we relax into our exhalation, whatever we noticed during the previous inhalation could feel at least somewhat non-graspable. How non-graspable? As non-graspable as a vast, empty void, like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although it could be tantalizing to the eye, is intangible to the grasp. Okay, now that we've explained that emptiness is just a metaphor for non-graspability, and that non-graspability is what we experience during every out-breath, and perception is what we experience during every in-breath, let's continue. Sathya Shariputra, form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not separate from form, form is not separate from emptiness. Whatever is form is emptiness, whatever is emptiness is form. All right, redundant much? Let's continue. The same holds for sensation and perception, memory and consciousness. So this is one translation of the five aggregates: form, sensation, perception, memory, and consciousness. An alternative translation, one favored by the Padmakara translation group, would be form, feeling, appraisal, impulse, and awareness. I prefer that one. Let's continue. Hishari Pudra all dharmas are defined by emptiness, not by birth or destruction, purity or defilement, completeness or deficiency. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no sensation, no perception, no memory, and no consciousness. So, what's this no business? All we're saying is there is nothing that, when noticed, can't be released, at least to some degree. As long as you breathe in, you can notice, and as long as you breathe out, you have the physiological apparatus to let go at least a little bit. But don't take my word for it. When we get to the practical exercises, you can experience it yourself viscerally. No eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, and no mind. No shape, no sound, no smell, no taste, no feeling, and no thought. No element of perceptions from eye to conceptual consciousness. No causal link from consciousness to old age and death. No end of causal link from consciousness to old age and death. No suffering, no source, no relief, no path, no knowledge, no attainment, and no non-attainment. So there is no enlightenment that cannot be noticed and then released. Now, release doesn't mean you crumple it up and throw it in the dumpster. That's completely different. Therefore, Shariputra, without attainment, Bodhisattvas take refuge in Prajna Paramita and live without the wall of the mind. So, noticing and releasing frees us from the prison of rigidity and preconception. Without walls of the mind and thus without fears, they see through delusions and finally accomplish nirvana. All Buddhas, past, present, and future, also take refuge in Prajna Paramita and realize and excel perfect enlightenment. You should therefore know the great mantra of Prajna Paramita, the mantra of great magic, the unexcelled mantra. In the time and place wherein this text was allegedly composed, there were a good many people who believed in ritualistic magic, and that a facet of that magic was dependent upon monosyllabic and polysyllabic mantras. So what the author of this text is inferring is that this ability to therapeutically notice and release is itself like the ultimate mantra. Continue. The mantra equal to the unequal, which is all suffering and is true, not false. The mantra in Prajna Paramita is spoken thus. May I practice this awareness and release so effectively that I go, completely go, completely and perfectly go to enlightenment. There you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We come now to awareness and letting go, which is known by many names, including Sutra, Mahamudra, and Dzogchen's Trekcho. So let's get comfortable with the mechanics. Sit with your legs crossed. I recommend sitting on a folded meditation yoga blanket to rest your lower legs upon. I recommend resting your tuchus upon a circular meditation cushion known as a zafu. There's typically a zipper on the side, and you can add or remove the buckwheat holes the zafu comes with so that you can adjust the height of the zafu to maximize the comfort in your hip joints. You want to sit as you want to sit in a manner that is tall. You want to lengthen your spine with every inhalation. With every inhalation, you can allow your awareness to skim past your nostrils, past your diaphragm, into your lower abdomen, which some Chinese teachers refer to as the lower dantian, the lower cauldron, and which some Japanese teachers refer to as your hara. During your exhalation, you want to give your body permission to physically relax. Now, here's the cool thing. We are already wired to relax in every in-breath. We are already wired to notice in every in-breath. So we're not forcing ourselves to notice and relax. Basically, we are aligning our will, our volition, our intention with the factory-installed programming of our autonomic nervous system. So let's play with this right now. By the way, when playing with these exercises, what I found, well, I was taught Bengali crease counting. So every time I breathe in, I will advance the thumb. Let me make sure you can see me. I'm going to change screens for a second. Okay, welcome to Bengali crease counting. With every in-breath, you can move your thumb. First set of creases, second set of creases, third set of creases, and 4 is the tip of your little finger. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th. So you can count 16 rounds. A round is 1 in-breath and then 1 out-breath. If you wanted to count, on your right hand, you can count sets of 16 rounds. 1 set of 16 rounds, 2 sets of 16 rounds, and so forth. I recommend sitting with your hands in your lap, palms up. Nose diaphragm deep. At the top of the screen, in gray font, you'll see the phrase Proto-Zen. What do I mean by that? Is that an homage to The Expanse? That was a great series, but it's not. Proto-Zen refers to the teachings of the Chinese monk known as Bodhidharma, who was the most who of all the teachers of Mahamudra meditation, met with the most success of transmitting that method to the people of China. In a text attributed to Bodhidharma known as Outline of Practice, he describes contemplations. The two most popular schools of Zen that have survived to this date either have absolutely no contemplations, or they have really cryptic contemplations that are really not grounded in Bodhidharma's teachings. So I practice Proto-Zen where there's a time for contemplation and a time for meditation. So let's explore that real quick. Our mind is like a kitty cat or a doggy. Sometimes it has the zoomies, sometimes it just kicks back. When your mind has the zoomies, that's not a flaw, that's a feature. It's an ideal time to play with the rhetorical questions that are designed to help us better let go of the things that really hang us up. When our mind is no longer has the zoomies and it just feels like being mellow, then we meditate. We do not contemplate to force our brains to meditate. We contemplate because that's what our brain seems ready for at the moment. And so we play with contemplation and meditation, not to coerce our central nervous system, but to take advantage of its state. When our mind is zoomy, we play with contemplations. When our mind is mellow, we play with meditation. These contemplations, I found the most effective way to work with contemplations is using the paradigm of a rhetorical question. These rhetorical questions, we do not ask these rhetorical questions to learn a deep, profound truth. We play with these four rhetorical questions as a type of psycho-spiritual first aid. For instance, this first question, how could this be quite just, is a wonderful antidote to feeling like an angry victim. Now, this is not designed for victim blaming, but it's designed to just help us move forward. As we breathe in, let's silently and mentally recite, how could this? And as we exhale, let's silently and mentally recite, be quite just. Remember, the power of this does not lie in answering this question, but in asking it, silently and mentally, in harmony with our inhalation and our exhalation and our relaxation. Now, this is based on my understanding of Bodhidharma, of the text attributed to Bodhidharma. If you read the text and pore over it for a few years, you might arrange different rhetorical questions. This is what I'm at right now at this point in my life, and I hope you find it beneficial. The second rhetorical question helps us to let go of our controlling tendencies. How striving increase stress. Our third rhetorical question helps us to further let go. How could this, whatever, this is the pronoun that refers to whatever we're experiencing in the moment, whether it's perceptual or emotional, intentional, cognitive, mnemonic, or phantasmagoric. In the 81 poems of the Tao Te Ching, it is written, those who seek to label themselves can never know themselves. So you can imagine the efficacy of this exercise. Our fourth and final rhetorical question helps to strengthen our empathy for others. How could I free all beings? Free all beings from what? Free all beings not from the presence of hating, craving, and clinging, but from their tyranny. The primary meditation is as follows. As we breathe in, we watch the play of mind. As we breathe out, we relax into mind's non-graspable nature. How do we do that? Every time we breathe in, we automatically access our sympathetic nervous system, which has evolved to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. That is why during the inhalation we silently and mentally recite, notice this. Every time we exhale, we access the parasympathetic nervous system, which is evolved to both physically relax and mentally release. That is why during the exhalation we silently and mentally recite, relaxing. Whenever you feel your mind has the zoomies, you can play with these contemplations. Whenever you feel your mind is ready to rest, simply watch and rest, you can play with the meditation. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let us seal our practice with 5 chants. Four chants. These 4 chants could be described as love and letting go, Tantra Mahamudra, or Tokal Dzogchen. If not literally, then figuratively. Let us begin with universal liberation. May I, like the Buddha, master the Eightfold Path as well as liberate all others. We turn now to kind ethics. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct, and calmness flow spontaneous and uncontrived. Let us consider auspicious rebirth. May each being take auspicious rebirth, master the Buddha's path, and then help others do likewise. And let us conclude with the 4 immeasurables. May everyone be free from stress, may everyone be happy, may no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging, freed. If you feel I have earned it, type something in the chat window, give this live stream a thumbs up, and share it on social media. In approximately 11 hours, I look forward to leading Thursday's early morning meditation. May you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.